Right then, lads and lasses, how we doing, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a match preview as Newcastle United take on rock bottom of the Premier League, Sheffield United. And look, lads, after a woeful 2-0 defeat at Crystal Palace, and by the way, a disgusting performance to go with it as well, it wasn't just the scoreline, and fair play to Crystal Palace as well. I do apologise there was no content around the game on the channel there. I was kind of busy and the stream wasn't working and all that sort of stuff, but by the way, credit to Crystal Palace, they absolutely outplayed us from start to finish. Eze, what a player, absolutely tore us apart, didn't look like he came out first gear, but look, that was a terrible performance, and this game is the perfect game to bounce back on, but also at the same time, this is rock bottom of the Premier League, Sheffield United, and it's also going to be the most typical Newcastle United fixture ever. Rock bottom of the Premier League, 16 points in 34 games, 92 goals conceded, and only one clean sheet all season. We'll beat them 8-0 in the reverse fixture. This just sounds like a Sheffield United 1-0 win. Honestly, it's happened so many times over the years. It's the most Newcastle United thing ever happened. But look, no, I'm very, very confident for this game, as should you be as well, ladies and gentlemen. But at the same time, we do support Newcastle United, and the most unthinkable things just happened for us, unfortunately. But look, this match preview isn't all about Newcastle United are going to win 5-0. Sheffield United are absolutely terrible. We're going to dominate them. Well, the majority of the video is that, but look, nevertheless, we'll still get into it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a look at Sheffield United and Newcastle United, and why I would actually drop Harvey Barnes in this game. We'll take a look at that now. And we've actually got, for the first time in a very long while, positive injury news. You heard that correctly. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear some of that. And just before we get into that genuinely fantastic injury news that Eddie Howe has given us in his press conference this morning, please do like the video if you do enjoy this video, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe if you are new around here and you haven't already. If you've already subscribed and you haven't, get them notification bells turned on so you're always early for these videos. I really do appreciate you all coming in nice and early. Let me know down below if you are early as well. And of course, your score prediction for this game. You'll see mine at the very, very end. So look, injury news given to us by Eddie Howe. They are genuinely very, very good. He started off with Nick Pope, who, by the way, in my opinion, I thought the likes of Sven Botman or Joelinton or maybe Alexander Isak when he's been out have been the biggest misses of the season. For me, it's Nick Pope, and that's not just because of what he's like in goal. Of course, he's a fantastic goalkeeper, although his distribution is pretty annoying sometimes, and every time seems to take a goal kick, it goes out of the stadium. But look, it's commanding his box. What we actually don't kind of appreciate it before Martin Dubravka came in, he doesn't kind of communicate with his defenders. You know, they're booting the ball out of his hands, Dubravka's coming for it, and the defenders are kind of kicking it away. There's no communication there. So Nick Pope, for me, it probably is the miss of the season. We've got some news on him that Eddie Howe has said Nick Pope has started training with Newcastle United and is completing shooting drills. He's nearing a return. Absolutely fantastic news. And moving on to even more fantastic news, Joelinton went to see a specialist last week and got positive news regarding his comeback. Just like Nick Pope there, there's no set comeback to what game they will be sort of targeting a comeback. Eddie Howe did say that Nick Pope was targeting April like 4 or 5 months ago, and we've not heard anything since, unfortunately. But look, no set time for when they will come back. It was said by the Chronicle, though, that Eddie Howe hopes that Joelinton will be back for the Burnley game. And moving on to Almiron, Eddie Howe said he's hopeful that Almiron can play against Burnley next week. Tino Livramento felt his ankle against Spurs, but he's looking stronger to play. Of course, Tino was an unused substitute at Crystal Palace. We were all saying, why is he not playing? Of course, he wasn't fit enough to start against Crystal Palace. Fingers crossed he is today. Of course, we'll speak about Tino, to why I think he should start, if he is fit, of course. That's probably the story of every single player this season, if they are fit enough. We've rushed so many back from injury this season. We don't want to do that yet again. But look, away from the injury news, and some very, very nice ones there. Of course, we're not expecting any players back for this exact game tomorrow, as I'm recording this video. We're not expecting any players back who are out. So without further ado, let's take a look at rock bottom of the league, Sheffield United. Now, I'm sorry to say this, Sheffield United fans, because you all know me, even the Newcastle fans in this. I love to give credit to every single team. I love showing people what people don't normally say. They normally kind of slag off other teams. They don't kind of give the fans credit. I'm the complete opposite. I love giving teams credit where credit is due. But for Sheffield United, they are one of the worst teams the Premier League has ever seen. Honestly, I can't describe how bad these are, and I hate to say that as well, because it kind of sounds cocky and arrogant, and that's everything I'm against. But like I said at the start of the video, not great whatsoever. 92 goals conceded this season, and of course in the reverse fixture, we're stuck 8 goals past them. What on earth? 1 clean sheet kept all season. And by the way, that was in a 1-0 home win against Brentford. Honestly, I can't describe how bad they've been. Of course, they are managed by Chris Wilder, who's had previous stints at the club. He's now setting up in a 3-5-2 for Sheffield United. I don't care how the setup will probably beat them anyway. And that sounds so cocky. And yet again, it's everything I'm against. But they are so bad. No win in their last 10 games and 7 defeats come with that as well. And by the way, like I said, 3 wins all season. We've had as many wins as they've had all season in our last 5 games. And for us, it kind of seems like the end of the world. Now, although just listening to that, it looks like there's not a hope in hell for Sheffield United, there actually is a few players in that team who have a little bit of individual quality, one of them certainly being Ben Brereton Diaz, who is a former Blackburn striker. He's on loan from Villarreal, and he's got 5 goals in his last 10 appearances for Sheffield United. He's also got 1 assist. It's them type of players, you know, kind of like your Adam Armstrongs, who, when they come to St James's Park, if they get one chance and it's 0-0 in the 90th minute, they're taking that chance and they're taking all 3 points with them as well. I don't think they'll do that. But also in that team, they've also got a Brazilian midfielder who, by the way, I actually really do like. And it's so hard to credit these players because when you're in a position and you're playing for a team like Sheffield United, who are rock bottom of the Premier League, they've genuinely basically not got a hope in hell of staying up this season. It's so hard to thrive in that kind of negative environment. You've got your fans, your home fans, leaving at like 40 minutes in, and when Newcastle United were 4-0 up in the first half, every single Sheffield United fan left early, which I can't blame them, but still, if you're a player playing for that team, you're thinking, what on earth am I doing? Yeah, we are genuinely hopeless. But like I was saying, Vinicius Souza is not a bad player whatsoever. He's in the middle of the park. He'll be coming up against another Brazilian from Newcastle United. Pretty well known to us. I think his name's Bruno Guimaraes. He's an alright player. Also, they've got one other player who I'm only highlighting for one reason and one reason only. His name is Ahmed Dosic. He's a Bosnian centre-back. And by the way, I've seen so many people sing his praises. I don't think he's actually a bad player, but the only reasons to why I've ever picked up on him, especially in our reverse fixture at Bramall Lane as well, he's a very dirty player. Watch out for him. And by the way, I'm not saying watch out for him like, oh, watch out, you'll see his quality's going to be a good player. Watch out for him because he's genuinely a very dirty player. You have to remember, he was pulling Callum Wilson down. He got Miggy by the scruff of the neck. I'm thinking, what on earth is this guy doing? So watch out for him at St James's Park. And if there was one thing I could credit them on, apart from the individual quality for Sheffield United, they have a never die attitude. Although it seems like they are hopeless at the minute, of course, like everything I have just mentioned. They've got draws to the likes of Chelsea at home, West Ham United at home, away to Brighton, away to Bournemouth. So there is that little bit of never give up attitude there, which I do like from Sheffield United. And to cut them some slack, Newcastle United, we absolutely bang on about it, and rightly so as well. They actually do, although being absolutely terrible, just to rub salt into their wounds, they have an injury crisis going on as well, which, by the way, for a team in their position, you don't want to have that whatsoever. They're missing the likes of Ollie McBurney, James McAtee, who was a doubt for this game. He's not completely ruled out, but he is a doubt for this game. Many more, like young Daniel Jefferson, John Egan, so to speak, Jack Robinson. Honestly, there is so many more players. I think Baldock's out for them as well. I've never known how to pronounce that last name, but they've got many players out, so I've got to cut them some credit, although they are very hopeless. I didn't want to speak too much on them because we all know how bad they are. So without further ado, on to Newcastle United and what we're changing this game. Now, like I was saying at the start of the video, ladies and gentlemen, and of course all you will know as well, Newcastle United have been so prone to taking our foot off the gas and certainly underestimating teams this season. Maybe not underestimating teams as a whole, but the likes of dropping points at home to Luton, dropping 6 points, of course Everton, actually not 6 points, sorry, dropping 4 points to Everton, drawing at home. What a game that was, man. Honestly, how bad was that? Losing 3-0 at Goodison Park, your likes of your Bournemouth beating away, and of course the likes of Forest who beat us at St James's Park. Honestly, we've done that so many times this season, and of course earlier in the season. Not that I want to remind you of this game, but when we went 1-0 up against Liverpool at St James's Park, they get a man sent off, and we took a foot off the gas, and Darwin Núñez goes and scores 2 of the best strikes he'll ever hit in his life. They go and win the game 2-1. We cannot do this in this game. We have to be ruthless. No matter if they are bottom of the league, we've got to be ruthless. We've got to want to put more than 8 past them, like we did in the reverse fixture. Unlikely with our injuries, I don't think that is going to happen. We had so much sort of firepower in that game. The likes of Tonali even played in that game. Honestly, it's not going to be the same, unfortunately, but I still think we will absolutely batter them. We went with a 3-4-3 away at Crystal Palace, and by the way, like I said at the start of the video, Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace, I actually think they'll do very good next season. They outclassed us in every single way. They didn't give us a chance from the get-go. Fabian Shaw had to basically take the ball off the line. Honestly, they set up so well against Newcastle United. They showed no respect whatsoever, as they shouldn't as well, which Newcastle United have done that so many times. And in previous years, we've given so much respect to the likes of your Arsenals, your Manchester Cities. We can't do that anymore. We can't be costing ourselves like, oh look, we're Newcastle United, we were crap 2 years ago, it's okay to lose to Man City. No, give the game to them, and in this game against Sheffield United, we've got to do that as well. Now, like I said, we started with a 3-4-3 away at Crystal Palace or Selhurst Park. In this game, we've got to go back to that 4-3-3. Now, I know Crystal Palace also did match our 3-4-3 formation with their original 3-4-3 formation. It didn't work, and I know Sheffield United is a complete different situation and opposition, but I would still go back back to that 4-3-3. We've got to as well. And if we do, of course, that means we actually have 2 complete fullbacks. And if Tino Livramento is fit for this game, and of course Lewis Hall will be, Tino has got to go right back in his natural position where arguably he's the best right back at the club, also including Kieran Trippier there. Lewis Hall has got to go left back. And Eddie Howe has said sometimes he doesn't think that Tino and Lewis Hall are experienced enough to both start at full-back. Now, I don't want to be sort of cocky, pardon me, towards Sheffield United, but if there was ever a chance to start both players, both kind of inexperienced players at Newcastle United, of course it's both their first season at the club, this is now rock bottom of the league at St James's Park. If there ever was a chance, it's got to be now. For the rest of the team, obviously with Nick Pope's still absence, we've got to go with Dubravka in goal. A centre-back duo of Byrne and Shaw, who by the way, I'm so much big fans of them at centre-back. Of course, Fabian Shaw, he's never came out of there. And Dan Byrne, he's unbelievable at centre-back. Fortunately, same can't be said for left-back. We've seen that against Crystal Palace as well. Although, still playing as a centre-back, he was much more out wide. In a midfield 3, we've got to go with left centre-mid, Elliot Anderson, been absolutely fantastic there recently. In the midfield, Bruno Guimaraes, and of course right centre mid, because we can't change anything. It's got to be Sean Longstaff, although very aggravating sometimes. Again against Crystal Palace, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either. Now the front 3 is where it changes for me, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you let me know down below if you disagree with this, because I have a feeling some people may. Left wing Anthony Gordon, you're not going to disagree with that, but that also does lead on to something. Striker Alexander Isak, and right wing Jacob Murphy. Now wait, before I get crucified, just wait. Am I saying that Jacob Murphy is a better player than Harvey Barnes? Absolutely not. But Harvey Barnes has dropped for me for one reason and one reason only. He is such an impact player. Seriously, he's such an impact player. He's got 6 goals and assists this season, and 5 of them goals and assists have come off the bench. I'm not discrediting his individual quality because he is such a fantastic player. But when we've got Gordon in his natural position on the left wing, not saying he's bad on the right, but he is certainly superior on the left. Alexander Isak up top and Jacob Murphy on the right. Although Jacob Murphy hasn't been impressing recently, that is surely got to be enough to beat Sheffield United, and I am so confident that it is as well. Honestly, I hate sort of, and I know we spoke about so much at the start of the video and of course in the middle as well, that Newcastle United are sort of prone to losing against these bogey teams, but get that out of the window, man. Honestly, we can't just think of these past records. Sheffield United are bottom of the league for a reason. We have to go into this game and absolutely batter them. Now for a score prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you get yours down below. I'm going to go Newcastle United 4, Sheffield United 0. It could be way more, of course, a reverse fixture, although we had much more players available then. It was 8-0, but in this one, I'm just going to say 4-0. I don't believe it will be our day as much as it was in the reverse fixture at Bramall Lane. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed the match preview. Like if you do enjoy, subscribe if you are new around here, and of course, turn notification bells on so you're always early. Expect a match day vlog tomorrow. Fingers crossed the title will be something like Newcastle United put 10 past Sheffield United. I'm joking. Look, I've been Josh, ladies and gentlemen. Go and enjoy your day.